Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Wilson with my good friend and co-host Adrian Wright, and this is the Supernatural and Beyond. Well, as always, I always enjoy speaking with you because you bring such an interesting dynamic to the conversation. The subject of the firmament that we've been discussing over the last couple of weeks, it's really been fun.
Yes.
From a lot of different perspectives.
Yeah.
Because it's like you have a perspective, I have a perspective. I've learned a lot. I've connected some dots. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically just give it to you one time so that you and the rest of the audience will be able to understand what's really going on here.
All right.
Because of the two perspectives,
Yes.
there seems to be some kind of division. You know, like in politics, you know, you have the Republicans, you have the Democrats, and they've got their thing. And this is not what we want to do.
Yeah.
What we want to do is to just put all the cards on the table and just everybody look at it and say, well, hey, yeah, I like that part. I like that part. I don't understand that part. I can't deal with that part at all. That's perfect.
Yeah, so, that's what I enjoy too, is because we have those two different perspectives, and it's not like we're trying to bump heads, but we're trying to be like, well, this is how it looks from one way, this is how it looks from the other way, and then we just tie it together peacefully, you know?
Peacefully, yes.
Yeah, peacefully with as much evidence and as much facts as we can lay on the table.
So my main question is, because there are two perspectives,
yes,
why would there be two perspectives? And this is what I've walked away with. From the Garden of Eden, lies have been told about how it actually is, could be, or should be.
Yes.
And those lies continue to propagate throughout all of mankind. One of the things that I find very interesting from the flat earth perspective is those in ancient times were actually closer to the event. Adam was still alive before the flood.
Yes.
So all of the people that walked on the face of the earth at that time could go directly to him and get the information straight from the horse's mouth, as it was.
Yes.
In addition to, there were angelic beings, there were demonic beings, there were
giants,
the chimeras. All of these different events were actually taking place, and the people were able to see these things happen. It wasn't like 4,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago like us. Because Adam lived to be about 900 years old, I'm going to do some real quick math. Let's just say we rounded it off to 1,000. He lived to be 1,000 years.
Okay. Roughly he did, yeah.
Yeah, roughly he lived 1,000 years.
900 something.
So the seventh generation, that would take us up to about 7,000 years, right?
Well, the thing is, the kids weren't born, the generations weren't born at like 1,000 years.
No. Okay, that's another rabbit trail that we'll go into. Like I was saying, just following the math, about 7,000 years before the flood happened.
Okay, yeah.
So once the flood happened, then there was another 7,000 years. In the 14th century is when Copernicus changed the order of the earth being flat based on what they saw firsthand. And so now we've got like 14,000 years that things have been changed. Now we're even further away from that. We're in the 21st century.
Right.
My thinking has always been go back to the source. You know, like we did with the word rakia, for the firmament. We went back to the source. And that's how we're starting to now understand better what it was all about.
So back to the source, I like how you brought up that with, the 7 generations. And it kind of falls in theory with what you're saying because there's more time for more deception and more deception to be laid.
More deception.
Because the more time goes by, we have time to say, oh, we pervert the truth. We add more deception. We trick more people. And then there's more lies, more cover-ups, more this, more that. It would help if we could actually be able to trust what science says or what governments say, or it would just make our job easier because then we could say, hey, the world is round, or hey, the world is flat. But there's been so many cover-ups. There's no way of knowing what the actual truth is unless we can actually go and see for ourselves.
Well, even then with that, science. Now, I love science. I love the cell phones, the computers, the tablets, and all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
But this information is changing daily.
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 Quickly, too.
So what was apropos, say maybe 20 years ago when we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
Now we can just sit there and we can connect to the world. It's just amazing how all of that happens so quickly.
Yes. So that's great there too. So the firmament and the flat earth and the firmament and the round earth, we have different perspectives. We have, different time periods. And like you said, going back to the source, going back to the beginning, going back when there was less perversion, and going back even closer to when it all began, we're looking at the earth being flat pretty much, because the ancient Hebrews, even though I didn't agree with their actual study, their actual belief was that the world was flat, and we still have those flat earthers today. So you were saying that it wasn't until about somewhere around the 14th century.
14th, that's when Copernicus came up and
then that's where
that.
So what has your research led with maybe corruption around that time, or lies or control around that time? Have you found anything on that?
Yes, I did. Very interesting that you should mention that. There was always been a battle a supposed battle, a contradiction between science and religion.
Yes.
There actually isn't that much contradiction. Science is learning and growing every day. They're actually confirming certain scriptural passages, either in the canon, ancient literature and texts.
Yes.
Then they're actually beginning to realize, like, hey, well, wait a minute. These guys may have been onto something that we didn't consider in our modern day and time.
That's right. That's right.
So before we get, one thing I just want to kind of leave you here with is one of my favorite movies is The Matrix, especially the first one. Right. Because it has to do with all of those things about, different dimensions. Well, everybody's seen The Matrix, and if you haven't,
check it out.
Netflix it. It's well, actually, yeah. Anyway, just check it out. It's a great movie. And there was this mentor. His name was Morpheus. And he met with the young prodigy Neo, and he offered Neo a choice. He said, "Hey, look, I'm going to give you a blue pill, or I'm going to give you a red pill. If you take the blue pill, you wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want.
Yeah.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how far the rabbit hole goes."
It's amazing.
And before he took the pill, Morpheus said, "All I'm offering is the truth." So this is what we want to do. We want to get to the truth, offer it to everybody, and then you make the decision at that point.
And I think we do a good job of that, bringing the facts to the table and just asking you guys, this is the facts, do your research. Look into what we bring to the table, form your own opinions, leave us comments, let us know what you're thinking along with us, and, everybody can kind of grow from there. Even if you have a different perspective from us, it's all worth looking at, because maybe somebody comes up with some new facts that has a different perspective from me, or new facts from different perspective of Tony.
Right. There is no right, there is no wrong, there's only truth. And as long as we seek the way, the truth, and the light, then we will see what is actually out there for us.
It's very powerful, very powerful. So follow us on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, write a comment down below, and be sure to follow us next time on The Supernatural and Beyond.